Okay, let's dig in deeper into this for all things stablecoin and bring in Mark Dukas. He is a crypto analyst at Bitcoin.Live and founder of BitcoinSmartMoney.com. Mark, good to see you again.
Good to see you, Sean. You know it's a bull market when I see it twice in a month.
Indeed, indeed. It has been active. Okay, the Genius Act is the first federal law for stablecoin regulation. It's a significant milestone, but you're an expert in this field, a supporter as well. But there are people out there who are adamant that crypto has basically thrived and simply been widely unregulated. Explain how this could change the field.
Look, this is definitely a game changer, the Genius Act. It helps the bringing stablecoins into the financial mainstream. And what that'll do is it provides legitimacy. When all nascent technologies become more mainstream, they need to have some clear rules. And what the Genius Act does, it provides those clear rules. And it's one of those things that it's a win for innovation. And I just think that the last time we talked, we had some uncertainty. And you can just see how fast this field is moving.
Okay, last time we talked, there was uncertainty, but I hate to be the guy that brings these questions out there, but you're great at knocking them out of the park. Who has oversight under these new measures, and will crypto be exempt? It's my understanding it's going to be exempt from many of the banking and security laws that are out there. Is that the case?
So the key here is to determine who the big players are. The big players are being the ones that have over $10 billion in stables, and those will be run by the Federal Reserve. And then you think of the more littler stablecoin issuers, which are 10 billion and less. It's going to be, they have the chance to be backed by the state, and they can have some state guidance if they fall within some of the realms that the Federal Reserve does approve. So it really just depends on the size of the player.
Okay, make us feel better about that. Talk a bit more about that and explain why that shouldn't be a concern for people who are worried about the fact that it may not be under the federal banking and securities measures.
Well, you think about the Federal Reserve, we print billions of dollars on a monthly basis, and our national debt has reached trillions of dollars, over 30 trillion. And when you think about what the Genius Act does, it provides that peg of 1-to-1. So you know that there is right now roughly 238 billion in stables. And so when a stable coin is backed, it'll be backed by a short-term treasury, it'll be backed by a note, it'll be backed by bonds that are less than 93 days old.
Okay, Mark, so how does the U.S. stablecoin regulation compare to other countries? I mean, the U.S. simply dominates this field, and there are concerns out there that it isn't matched 1-to-1.
So stablecoins, that's the whole point of it, is it removes a lot of the volatility within the crypto ecosystem, and it provides an on-ramp and an off-ramp from when you look at things like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Ripple, all these different ecosystems that are building this digital economy. They provide an on-ramp like you would think in a highway. So that's really good. But the U.S. is now playing catch up to what is happening in Europe and then parts of Asia like Singapore and then even Japan. So we're playing catch up in some of that regard.
So what impact could rising demand for Treasury-backed stablecoin reserves have on the financial markets? It's clearly going to have an impact, and it's clearly growing.
That's a good question. One of the things that it's not really one of those things that will happen in this order, but when you have a demand for stables, you'll need to have that be backed by a short-term U.S. Treasury. And what that could do is it could decrease the Treasury rate percentage. And then when you have that happen, it provides that risk-on appetite for investors, risk-on appetite for those with billions of dollars. And when you have that type of inflows into this $2 trillion plus economy, you're going to see higher prices of quality crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum.
You know, Donald Trump, toward the end of the campaign, 2024, really said everything the crypto market wanted to hear, and that really paid off for him in a big way. So moving forward, how realistic is the Trump administration's goal to make the U.S. the global hub for digital asset innovation?
I think Trump's vision has very good oversight, and I think one of the things that they're trying to do is acquire a lot of new visions that are going to turn into this global competition. But one of the things we have is we have a bipartisan system, and so there are some hurdles that we'll face being a part of that system. But I think the fact that the commander-in-chief is on board with making this a priority and making this ecosystem a part of our country, I think that's a big deal.